Well, I was thinking, since making a trailer is not really my thing anymore, at least I don't think I'm going to be able to make something that good or amazing of it, that I would just talk about things. And let's talk about L2 Citadel. It's in closed beta and has been for some time by now. And I'm sure I speak for all of us that we're very excited about this project. Of course, for multiple reasons. The first of which being that it's Hellbound. Now, what is Hellbound? There are several features important to Hellbound. Of course, chief amongst which is the Hellbound Island, which I'm sure everybody is familiar with by now, or at least most people. It has been implemented in later chronicles as well, only has been made slightly easier and dumbed down, to my knowledge, in order to make it more accessible, and more specifically entry quest requirements and stuff like that have been made a lot easier. Now, the interesting thing about Hellbound Island is that it unlocks in several stages. You basically start off with just a beach area, and gradually, as you gain more stages, of which there are 11, you unlock more of the island to farm and gain stuff. Of course, Hellbound is also very associated with getting Dynasty and Icarus gear. Dynasty was implemented in CT1 Kamael, so you can get that as well as elements through Isle of Prayer. But Hellbound should make it more achievable to obtain these things. Skill enchants were extremely expanded after Interlude with CT1 Kamael, and a few small changes were made to those in Hellbound, which can also be found in the patch notes. There are like 3 different skills, and the most important ones of these is the introduction of third class skill enchants. So things like lethal shot and several passives have been made enchantable, as well as expanding the available enchants on existing second class skills, such as plus defense on stunning shot, where when you land stun on the person he has less physical defense, and shield stun has several elements to it, so you can give someone a certain elemental vulnerability. Maximum level, of course, has been increased to level 85 from level 80. Subclasses do still max out at level 80, so you need to keep that in mind, that your main class is going to go up to 85, but your sub is only going to go up to 80, so if you're going to want to play your sub as a main, you need to keep that in mind. New skills, obviously, introduction of a lot of new skills, such as wind riding and shadow riding, and basically all of the 80 to 85 skills, as well as subclass certification skills, also a new introduction. They have been introduced with, I think it was Kamael or Hellbound, I'm not sure from memory right now which. And these skills, basically, if you reach level 75 on your subclass, you can get a mastery or class specific skill, which is the most important one, and this will give you a new ability, or generally a passive skill of some sort, which triggers when hit or when hitting, or gives a flat boost on your passive, like a small percentage on hit points or mana regeneration, resistance to abnormal status. Now, of course, Citadel is trying to make all of this retail-like, as in not broken and working and, all correct. We have been running closed beta for that for a long while now. Now, as you might have noticed, my accent is not great, but hey, what the hell. So yeah, closed beta testing. For me, primarily, it has been about checking quests, checking skill enchants via retail PvP videos, of which there are a lot, but unfortunately not enough. And it will never be enough, because, let's face it, you're not going to find all the skill enchants in PvP videos, so we're just using that as a tool to try and verify as much as we possibly can through known period correct sources, like the retail PvP videos as well as the retail forums. I mean, you're always going to find more. And testing mechanics, usually with the help of other people, like making sure that the Hellbound works, that the towers work, making sure that several mechanics surrounding sieges work. All of that combined together with other people who are doing things more behind the scenes, like checking the correctness of certain skills and drop tables and augmentations. Not at all important, because augmentations were hugely changed afterwards. I mean, you have level 80 life stones in Hellbound, but you get level 84 in Gracia later on. And just like, there's a lot of stuff that was changed in Gracia, other than the vitality that and common items that people will commonly know. Like for example the livestones and the quests. A lot of one-time quests, especially early quests, were changed in Gracia. So before they would give like say 1,000 experience and 500 Adina, and afterwards they gave like 30,000 experience and 500 SP and maybe 4,000 Adina or something like that. So those numbers were ludicrously inflated. All of that needs to be checked. Of course, it's difficult to find sources of some of the quests that were added in actual Hellbound and then immediately changed into Gracia. But other than that, I mean, things are going along well. Open beta, everybody's asking it. When is open beta? When is open beta? Well, simple answer is I don't know, we don't know, nobody knows. I mean, your guess is as good as any of ours, because it all depends on the devs, development time, as well as finding out all the bugs and getting them fixed. And getting the server, sort of feature ready to go into open beta, so we can go smoothly from open beta into live. Because of course, we have a closed beta now since, I joined in September, but most of the people have been running from June, I believe. So it has been running for quite a while, and during all that time, like, the amount of stuff that needs to be fixed is just gigantic. Because even though we are using like some mixture of like Hellbound files with Gracia files, working back from Gracia final files, as well as a little bit of Freya AI. Freya AI, I mean, that's just for mechanical things, so it's not that important. So yeah, basically we've been working down from there, and along the way, of course, things that were broken on those files need, like, one thing I've also done is I've run by every single NPC in every single town, and I've noticed some amazing things. Like, some NPCs just don't know what they were called. They were announcing themselves with all kinds of different names. Like, some of them didn't even resemble anywhere near to what that NPC is, and neither the underlying text files that were called upon had that name anywhere near. So it's like there was one NPC who had a completely unrelated name in one of their HTML files, and I'm like, where the hell did that come from? And checking level requirements for first class change quest, because of course in Gracia they were changed to level 18. In Hellbound they are still level 19. So I think most people will find a nice addition in Hellbound as opposed to Interlude or Gracia Final. Now, of course, what makes Hellbound more interesting to both Interlude and Gracia Final to me is that in Hellbound you actually get the ability to get to level 85 instead of 80, so you have a lot wider goal. You do not yet have Vitality, so that level 80 plus is a lot more stretched, so you actually have stuff to do up there. Because I feel one of the problem of many low rate Interlude servers is that even though they are low rate, people get to max level, they get their draconic sets and their dark crystal rope sets and their arcana maces and draconic bows and all that stuff, and then they feel like they have nothing left to do. It's just epic raids and stuff, etc, etc, etc. The beauty about Hellbound, of course, is you have that island which unlocks in various chains. You have more skill and chance to sink your money into. You have subclass certification, so you have an actual reason to go for subclasses. And of course, on top of all that, we have a server here which doesn't rely on donations, as is shown by it's already running for a freaking eternity and not making any money during the time at all, instead of just sinking money. I don't know how these guys are affording it. I know I wouldn't probably be affording it, but I know I will support them because this is just awesome. And of course, the difference as opposed to Gracia would be that you have no vitality, you have no common items, you have none of that stuff that waters down the game and makes it more easy / acceptable, or not acceptable, accessible. Sorry. And of course the Gracia continent, which was also added later on, and the instances like Palaika and that stuff, they're not here. I mean, basically the way I see Hellbound, at least, is like Interlude but expanded, which is a lot more reasonable than assuming like Gracia Final, but watered down. It's a lot more expanding on what is already there, rather than introducing a lot of new mechanics and stuff and things that dramatically change. Well, they do dramatically change the gameplay. They don't change it dramatically enough like, say, common items would do. I mean, you still have, like, especially some mobs drop tables that used to drop full weapons and armor at a low chance. Those now dropped only common items and at a lot higher chance. You don't have that. Not having common items to me is a good thing, because You can just focus on getting the gear, and you know the gear you have is valuable and it's gorgeous and it's awesome. And of course, it makes going up in the tiers of stuff a little bit trickier, but on the bright side, that also makes it more special. I mean, it's all about an experience in this game, at least to me. This server to me has already shown that there's a lot of interest in the server and that people are looking forward to it, and I know I'm looking forward to it, but of course, I'm on the inside, so I've probably got a pretty biased view on stuff like that. But it does mean that the people that are going to be on the server, I mean, it's not going to be a dead server, and of course it's not going to be. I mean, it's Hellbound. Nobody has done this before. Like, there are other Hellbounds before, but personally I've never seen them, and from what I've been told, they were all, quite buggy and stuff. But now I'm just talking to myself. So, anyways, yeah, this is me just giving a little talk about the closed beta for Hellbound, and I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more people on open beta, so we can test some more stuff. I do hope people join the open beta to actually look at some stuff, and test some stuff, and find some bugs, and not just to go into Olympiad every day and join sieges and just randomly PvP outside the gates of Dion or whatever. And yeah, I look forward to seeing a lot of people on this server and having success, and yay, happiness, fun, fun, fun. Bye, see ya later.